If you're watching this because you or someone you love is over 65, here's a number that should stop you cold. 1 in 4 older Americans falls every single year. Not 1 in 4 who are frail, not 1 in 4 in nursing homes. 1 in 4 of everyone over 65, including people who feel perfectly steady on their feet right now. And here's what almost nobody explains clearly. Losing your balance as you age isn't really about getting old. It's about 5 very specific habits your body has quietly lost without you noticing. And every single one of them can be rebuilt starting today, whether you're 75, 85, or well past 90. I'm Dr. Patterson, and for years I've studied how the body's sense of balance changes as we age. And what I've found consistently surprises people. The instinct is to blame balance loss on weak legs or just getting older, but muscle weakness is only part of the story. The real culprit is something most people never think about. The 3 systems your brain uses to keep you upright: your eyes, your inner ear, and the sensors in your joints and muscles that tell your brain exactly where your feet are without you having to look down, start sending weaker, slower signals after your 60s. Your brain is essentially trying to balance a moving target using outdated information. And that delay of even a fraction of a second is often the difference between catching yourself and going down. The Centers for Disease Control has tracked this for decades, and the pattern is remarkably consistent. Falls are the leading cause of both fatal and non-fatal injuries among older adults in this country, and the risk climbs sharply after 80. But here's the part that gives me real hope every time I look at the research. Structured balance training, not intense exercise, just specific, targeted movements, has been shown in multiple controlled studies to cut fall risk by roughly 1/3 in adults well into their 80s and 90s. That's not a small effect. That's often the difference between staying in your own home and losing that independence. Before we get into today's 5 habits, tell me in the comments where you're watching from today. I try to read as many as I can, and it helps me know what to cover next. Now let's get into it, starting with number 5. Habit number 5, the 1-foot toothbrush test. This one sounds almost too simple to matter, but physical therapists have used a version of it for years to retrain balance without anyone needing a gym or special equipment. Every time you brush your teeth, you're already standing still for about 2 minutes, which makes it the perfect hidden training window. Instead of standing on both feet, lift 1 foot slightly off the floor and hold your balance on the other side for the time it takes to brush that half of your mouth. Then switch. What's happening underneath the surface is that you're forcing the small stabilizing muscles around your ankle and the pressure sensors in the sole of your foot to work harder than they do during normal standing. And those are exactly the systems that fall out of practice as we age, simply from sitting more and standing less. In the first week, most people need to rest a hand on the counter the whole time, and that's completely fine. The goal isn't to do it perfectly, it's to do it daily. After 2 to 3 weeks of consistent practice, many people find they can go longer stretches without needing that hand on the counter at all. The most common mistake is looking down at your feet while you do this. Keep your eyes up on your own reflection or straight ahead, because part of what you're training is your ability to balance without constantly checking your feet with your eyes. Habit number 4, heel-to-toe hallway walks. If you have a hallway in your home, you already have everything you need for this one. Walking heel-to-toe, placing the heel of 1 foot directly in front of the toes of the other as if you're walking a tightrope, narrows your base of support dramatically compared to normal walking. That might sound like exactly what you don't want to do if you're worried about falling, but done carefully near a wall for support. It's one of the most effective ways to retrain the exact balance reactions your body needs when you have to step around furniture, turn quickly in a kitchen, or catch yourself on uneven ground outside. Start with one hand lightly touching the wall as you take 10 to 15 steps, keeping your eyes on a fixed point ahead of you rather than down at your feet. As this becomes easier over several weeks, try taking your hand off the wall for a few steps at a time. Do this once or twice a day. The habit is small, but the carryover to real life is significant. Because most falls don't happen while walking in a straight line across an open room. They happen during turns, direction changes, and tight spaces, which is exactly what this narrow stance walking prepares your body for. Quick favor before we continue, if this is helping, tap that like button and make sure you're subscribed. It genuinely helps this reach more people who need it, and I've got a lot more of this coming. Habit number 3, the head turn balance drill. This is the one almost nobody has heard of, and it targets something specific called the vestibulo-ocular reflex, the automatic connection between your inner ear and your eye muscles that lets you keep your gaze steady on something while your head is moving. You use this reflex constantly without noticing. Turning to check for traffic before crossing a street, turning your head when someone calls your name from another room, looking both ways before stepping off a curb. As this reflex slows with age, even a quick head turn can trigger a wave of dizziness or a momentary loss of balance, exactly the kind of moment that ends in a fall. To retrain it, pick a fixed point at eye level, a clock, a picture frame, a light switch, and keep your eyes locked on that point while slowly turning your head from side to side, about 20 times in each direction. Your eyes stay perfectly still on the target the whole time. Only your head moves. Do this seated at first, twice a day, and only progress to standing once it feels completely comfortable seated. One important note, if this ever causes more than mild brief dizziness, stop and mention it to your doctor before continuing. For most people, it's simply retraining a reflex, but it's worth ruling out anything else going on with the inner ear first. Habit number 2, the 3-count rise. This might be the single most overlooked cause of falls in people over 80, and it has nothing to do with muscle strength at all. It's about blood pressure. When you stand up quickly, especially first thing in the morning or after sitting for a long stretch, blood can momentarily pool in your legs faster than your body can adjust, causing a brief drop in blood pressure to the brain. That split second of lightheadedness is responsible for a large share of falls, particularly the ones that happen getting out of bed at night for the bathroom, which is one of the most common fall scenarios doctors see. The fix is almost embarrassingly simple. Before standing, sit at the edge of the bed or chair and count slowly to 3. Then stand up and pause for another few seconds before you actually start walking, giving your blood pressure time to catch up. If you keep a light or a lamp within reach for nighttime bathroom trips, use it. Trying to navigate in the dark while your blood pressure is still adjusting is a combination that sends a lot of people to the emergency room. This single habit, done consistently, addresses a mechanism that has nothing to do with balance training and everything to do with timing. And that brings us to habit number 1, the one that actually ties the other 4 together, the 3-minute doorway routine. This is modeled on structured fall prevention programs physical therapists have used successfully with older adults for years. And the idea is simple. Instead of scattering balance work throughout your day and hoping you remember, you do one short, complete routine right by your front door, every single time before you leave the house. It takes about 3 minutes. Start with 10 slow ankle circles in each direction to wake up the joint. Follow that with the 1-foot stance from habit 5, 10 seconds per side. Add 10 slow heel raises, rising up onto your toes and back down, holding onto the doorframe if needed. Finish with a few heel-to-toe steps across your entryway. What makes this habit different from the other 4 is timing. You're not just building balance in general, you're specifically priming your nervous system for the transition from sitting or standing still to actually moving through the world, which is exactly the moment most falls outside the home occur. It's worth noting that researchers who study the world's longest-lived, most mobile older populations in places like Okinawa have pointed to something similar. Communities where getting up and down and transitioning between positions stays a normal, frequent part of daily life tend to hold on to functional balance far longer than communities where people mostly go from a chair to a car and back. The 3-minute doorway routine is a deliberate, modern way of building that same transition back into your day. None of these 5 habits require special equipment, a gym membership, or anyone's permission but your own. What they require is consistency, doing the small version every day rather than waiting for a big change. If you found this helpful, the best thing you can do is subscribe and turn on notifications because I put out new videos like this every week. And share this with anyone in your life who's over 65, a parent, a neighbor, a friend from church. It might be the video that keeps someone you care about steady on their feet for years to come. Leave a comment and let me know which of these 5 habits you're going to start with today. I read every one I can, and your comment might be exactly what someone else needed to see.